Hello. Okay. While we're on the subject, I need to mention one of our key team people, Carl Schleider of Advanced Group Tickets and World Stage Tickets. Carl's in Canada. He couldn't be here today. He swore he would make the next press conference, so I'm going to hold him to it. Carl has been in the business, I believe, 30-some years. Miriam, you would know that, right? And over 35 years. And he has actually helped train a lot of people in the industry in terms of ticket sales. So Advanced Group Tickets, Carl created World Stage Tickets, another company and entity, primarily for the purpose of supporting and promoting and marketing World Peace One, ticketing our concerts and events. Carl has sold millions of not only tickets to major events, music and otherwise, but he's also sold millions of VIP tickets. When it comes to VIP ticketing and packaging, he is absolutely one of the best in the world, and we're very happy to have Carl on board as well. It takes a group genius of this kind to be as effective as we need to be in order to reach and awaken the collective genius of the human race. So I can segue rather nicely from, that statement to Stephen Elliott Altman, who is a best-selling author. He is a very creative force or a creative individual with considerable experience at Acclaim Games. And he's going to talk a little bit about World Peace One games and also World Peace One social media. Because remember, the game or gaming world, as it's called now, does about 1/3 more business than the film industry does, to give you an idea how big it is. And so it's very important to us, and we're learning from Steve a lot of things about how we can start gamifying the human race, because that's an interesting concept. So I turn it over to Stephen Elliott Altman.
Am I on? I didn't want to lead with this, but I think it's important that you realize after what Doug said that Call of Duty, a very violent video game, outgrossed Avatar in its opening weekend, and that the young people of the world are more interested in video games than film in a town like this. That's something that's just starting to get everybody's attention. The best way to reach young people, and remember that young people are going to get older and be the ones that lead this planet towards peace or warfare, is to hit them when they're doing what they're doing all day, which is playing video games. And I was wondering this morning in the shower, that who decided that video games should solve their core puzzles through shooting and killing things? Because whoever did that has done us a grave disservice. I'm Steve Altman. I'm the former game director at Acclaim Games, where I also had the pleasure of writing their best-selling title, Nine Dragons. I was a best-selling science fiction author in a former incarnation, and today I'm the president of World Peace One Games, a title that I'm very proud to wear. When I was first brought on board, I was asked how I would go about creating a video game that pushed peace. I said that the first thing I would do was identify the programmers and creatives associated with the most violent and successful video games out there and offer them their chance for redemption. And that's what I did. So let me talk a little bit about the team of people I've amassed. I'm not going to mention everybody, but some of the highlight people, and I'm just going to mention the titles of their games. The first one is Flint Dilley, who created Turok, Transformers, Avatar, and Uncharted. He also just completed Ingress, which is the new top-secret game from Google. That's a location-based game that everybody's about to be hearing about, and we're excited to start using some of their technology in our games so that everybody's playing in real time on this game board we call Earth. Chris Avallone, who created Fallout. Josh Rubin, who is the writer on Assassin's Creed. Micah Wright, who just finished writing the latest Call of Duty. Dave Taylor, who is a programmer on Quake and Doom. Brian Yoder on security and drums. Brian was the lead architect for a little site called Earthlink, and he also was the lead architect for Norton's antivirus. So our game should be secure. And we're reviewing an amazing game proposal that came in from John Romero, who was the lead designer of Quake and Doom and quite a rock star in the industry. I'd like to read to you a little bit our goals. In a market saturated with games of war, WP1 Games seeks to offer an alternative, to create compelling games that will excite and attract millions of players, and at the same time provide and promote unity, nonviolence, and peace as the path to a sustainable future for humanity. In the process, WP1 Games will not only entertain, but educate players and support the efforts of WP1 to achieve world peace. Simple little goal. The company plans to co-develop and publish social network, massively multiplayer online role-playing games from seed stage to commercial launch that are geared to run on 3 platforms: the World Wide Web, social network sites, and mobile devices. There's no denying that conflict is with us. We're all different, and conflict often arises from our differences. The outmoded thinking is that these differences must be resolved through acts of war. It is our belief that the right game, at the right time, shared free to play across the World Wide Web, with compelling game mechanics, can steer players to truly know thine enemies, and that can be a major step towards resolving future conflicts in the real world through acts of peace. In a world plagued by famine, pestilence, and war, WP1 seeks to be the first peacekeeper, massively multiplayer online role-playing game, set in present time with customizable avatars on a virtual map of the real world, integrated with the social networks, to provide hardcore gamers and social gamers with exciting, compelling alternatives to warfare. Abraham Lincoln said, "I destroy my enemies when I make them my friends." So envision, if you will, a game that begins with 7 billion players, that's everybody on Earth, and that you would have to opt out of playing the game. You would have to make a conscious decision to say, I'm not interested in world peace, and opt out of the game. So we will be the first series of games that start with 7 billion players. Envision a game where you have to play locally, so that if you are an American citizen and you begin playing, you are starting out as anti-Muslim. Why would you be starting out as anti-Muslim? Because currently, and unfortunately, it's partially the U.S.'s policy that we have some anti-Muslim views going on. But you can opt out of that thinking with a simple click of the mouse and say, I'm playing in America, but I am not anti-Muslim. The reason I'm bringing this up is not to downplay the country that I love. It's to tell you that we need to start retraining our thinking by having us opt out of behaviors that we keep associating ourselves with by default. We need to make choices in a game. When you're playing these games that we're going to be playing, you're going to be doing it to earn what we call peace points. Peace points will be spread across our platform. With those peace points, you can do things like get yourself a set of concert tickets to the concert in Lisbon or to the concert in Germany. Now, truth be told, you can still go buy those concert tickets, but we're going to set aside, when Carl makes his VIP packages, special tiers of tickets that are in the front rows that you can only earn if you become an ambassador for peace or play our games, and you earn the right to have those tickets and earn those points and use those points that you earned playing a video game to go buy yourself some concert tickets. Or alternatively, you can use those points towards your favorite charity, charities that the WP1 Foundation will support after carefully vetting them. So it's kind of a new paradigm shift in playing games and gamifying the world and what we're doing. I'd actually like to read to you our manifesto, and I will read it quickly so I don't use up too much time. The children of industrialized nations have grown desensitized to the reality of violence. It's pervasive on television, even when violence is unnecessary. In the majority of video games, the player rises up healthy from pools of blood only moments after being gunned down. We, the proposed members of World Peace 1 Games, have helped promulgate the illusion that violence is harmless by creating violent and contagious games ourselves. They call us successful because our games have grossed high dollar amounts. Some of us, much to our sorrow, have actually had deaths attributed to the games we have written or programmed. While we do not condemn our past game development work, we admit that in a game with 15 million players, there may be a handful who are emotionally or psychologically unbalanced or have poor judgment that could lead them to harm themselves or others as a direct result of playing some of our games too long or taking the game's competitiveness or story or level of violence too seriously. As creators, we acknowledge that pre-9/11, we lived in a sort of adolescent bubble regarding the violence in our games, a world where blowing up buildings was mere spectacle, and we gave the depictions of such actions little to no thought. We welcome the opportunity to work on World Peace 1 Games as a chance for redemption, a coming of age, an opportunity to add our voices to the cause of peace in the most significant way we know how to. In immediate response to the World Peace 1 Foundation's request that their efforts be supported by every available means. After careful consideration, we believe that a global, free-to-play multiplayer game with strong social network connectivity that offers compelling gameplay and a driving and incentivized call to peace is a worthy platform for assisting the World Peace 1 Foundation's World Peace movement. We have witnessed the empowerment that common people can harness when they band together through social networks. It has toppled dictatorships and fueled worldwide movements to improve people's lives, and we, the gamers, are collectively awed. We concur that humanity must put an end to war before war puts an end to humanity. We agree wholeheartedly that to change our enemies, we must also change ourselves and abandon the idea that war remains a viable means of solving problems and conflicts. We shall strive to fuse these ideals into every piece of text or code within each of World Peace 1 games. We want to play a part in ending war, and we agree the time to act is now. I leave you with two thoughts. Can you imagine the events of a video game you're playing affecting the outcome of an actual world conflict? We can. And we hope you will come play with us and add your voice to ours. The second notion I'd like to have you imagine is, can you imagine a 12-year-old boy playing a video game in his room? His mother knocks on the door and says, "Honey, it's time to go to sleep." And the boy's response is, "But Mom, during the next hour, it's double points in this World Peace 1 game. And if I reach level 20, I can buy an alpaca for a family in Uganda." We can make this happen playing a game. And we hope all of you will help join us as we help World Peace 1. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.